who else is having a hard time keeping track of the days of the week? I know I am for sure. Welcome to session 5, day 5, Show Me the Money, AKA we are going to dig into making the ask and following up. We all know the fortune is in the follow-up, which is why we titled this Show Me the Money, because if this is a part of your business, you guys, that you don't feel like you're mastering, you're probably also feeling like you're not enrolling and getting those customers and brand ambassadors. And we all know that we make money in a couple of ways: enrolling customers, enrolling brand ambassadors, and then teaching those people to do the same thing. So I am so excited to be here with you guys today. It is snowing in Michigan, which is really, really weird. But I am excited and happy. I've got my warm, snuggly clothes on. So my name is Ashley Walmer, and I am a founding circle member with Emirates International. I have been in this industry for what feels like forever. I started my first company when I was 19 years old, and just like probably some of you that have been in network marketing, I've had my fair share of successes and failures. And I am so excited to be talking about follow-up today and making the ask, because it's one of my favorite parts of the business. I feel like when I was really able to feel confident in what I was saying and what I had my hands on, and being able to ask people to come alongside of me and join me in my business, is when everything started changing for me. So I really actually love this part. I think some people are nervous and scared to follow up or make the ask because they don't want to be that annoying, weird, pushy person, right? I kind of talked about that yesterday. I referenced that, but I'm going to tell you guys again, if you didn't hear me loud enough yesterday, you are not annoying, you are not pushy, you are not weird, and you're doing a disservice to people that are coming to you saying that they're genuinely interested in your business or your products. And if you're not actually following up with them and making the ask, you're actually doing them a disservice. I'll tell you guys, honest, Scout's honor, I've never had anyone come to me and enroll without me making the ask or without me following up with them. Okay. I can think of one person in my entire career that was at an actual in-home event that I did at my house. And afterwards I looked at her and I said, "So do you see yourself making money with me?" And she said, "Yes, I do." And I was like, "Oh, well, that was easy, right?" That's only happened one time. And that was me making the ask. A lot of times I have to make the ask and overcome objections and help kind of walk them through and give them some confidence, and still sometimes they don't enroll, and that's where follow-up comes in. So that's what we're going to dig into today. Making the ask, you guys, is sealing the deal. It's asking them to get started. It's asking them to join you in your business or to get started as a customer. Follow-up is actually moving people through the sales process and sometimes leading them to that next exposure until they actually enroll. All right. So I have two incredible guest speakers on with me this afternoon. I look up to both of these women so much. Tamera Toof, I've actually known for over 10 years. She was a sideline of mine in another business, and she was one of my absolute favorite people when I met her. Her laughter is just like, oh, you guys, seriously, like it is the best. And you're going to get to experience some of that today. And I met Rachel just over, or less than a year ago. It was like last September, I feel like, when we went to a training event in Nebraska. And I just connected with her sweet heart and tender spirit so much. I just wish she lived by me so we could hang out and go to wineries all the time, because I really just love her. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to hear from them today and a little bit about their experience when it comes to this stuff. So let's dig right in, because they have lots of goodies for you guys. So I'm going to ask both of you kind of the same question, because I think a lot of times getting to know the person and connecting with them right away in the very beginning actually leads to good follow-up, and it helps you close them in the very beginning. So Tamera Toof, if you could unmute, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us why you think it's super important to connect with that person in the beginning.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. What I want to talk about is even like, what do you do to get started? But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. Whoops, I was like, we're supposed to say that, right, Rachel or Ashley? So a little bit about me first is I'm a mom of 5, 4 boys and a little girl. starting from college age to an 8-year-old. And so it's busy. And I also have a real estate career. So I tell you that because why would I even look at a business like this when I'm already busy with 5 kids, have a real estate career? Why would I be doing this? Well, why I said yes to this was because I wanted another way to leverage my time. So it wasn't always me doing, right? I'm the mom, so I'm doing all those things. And also in real estate, it's me showing the houses, listing the houses. So a lot of it is on me, right? I was looking for a way to teach others how to build a business. And it wasn't always me putting that 20, 30 hours into it, but teaching others, and that leverages my time. Also looking for more for my family. In real estate, sometimes you could be on your own. And so I wanted to be with others, right? I was looking for a way to bond with other women, men, whatever, and help families so we could all bond together that have the same common goals in life, right? Wanting more, giving more, and being more. And that's who I was looking for to surround myself with, so that I can give more to others, whether that's in hope or in money to help other people, whatever that was. I knew I needed to find another type of business to do that. So that's why I said yes to this, and why I am so honored to be here today to get to share with you, what do I do to set myself up to be successful? So it's not about me when I'm making phone calls, right? When I'm reaching out to people, I make sure it's not about me and it's about them. So what are some tips that I do? First of all, you'll see in my background, I have a lot of sayings that help me start to be a grateful day. I start all my days what I'm grateful for, right? So it brings joy to me, right? I have a cup of coffee and I have my cup that says, I get to today. Whatever that is, I don't have to, but I get to, right? I have my diffuser going on so it smells good and my environment's good so that I'm joyful, and I bring that to other people when I'm talking to them. And smiling, because people hear you over the phone, they hear you smiling and they feel your energy. So to me, that's the first thing I do in the morning before I'm making my calls, is I'm preparing myself. Then before I call people, I'm making sure I want them to know it's about them. So I write down why I thought of them. What is it, why I thought they would be amazing at this, and I'd love for them to be a part of this with me. And you got to make sure it's sincere, you guys. You can't just say it. You need to really think about why you thought of them. And so I write that down. And then when I call them, then that's what I'm telling them. This is why I thought of you. Oh my gosh, you were one of the top people I thought of. Don't know if it's for you, but I just would love for you to take a look at it. And this is the reasons I thought of you. And that's how I started. So it prepares me for them to also be joyful and feel good about why I called them, that somebody thought of them. Whether they say yes or no to this, I'm setting the stage for them to be open to it. So I hope that helps in helping how you set your stage and making your calls, because I know it can be a little overwhelming sometimes, but if you take the focus off yourself, make it about others, create your atmosphere that makes you feel joyful, people will feel that when you're making your calls or when you're connecting with them, however you do that. Even if you're messaging, typing, people still feel it, right? They feel all that from you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. We're going to get some more tips from you here in a second. You guys, I forgot to tell you what the giveaway is today. Whoops, slipped my mind, okay? So today, if you haven't already checked in, make sure you hashtag faith over fear for that first entry. Every single time you guys are commenting and interacting, you're going to be getting more entries. If you tag somebody, you get 2 entries. If you share this, you get 5 entries. And then you're going to want to hang on to the very end to make sure that you guys get the call to action and that you do it so that you can get even more entries. So the giveaway for today is going to be a private training call with none other than our CEO, Aspen Emery. Okay, so I'm going to bring on Rachel Williamson now. Rachel, I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and then what you feel like is super important at the beginning of when you're starting to talk to people that helps kind of lead you through that process.
Yay! Hey, Ashley. Hey, Tamera. I love what you shared. And I'm just honored to be on here today and just excited to share with you guys a little bit about my background is that I have 3 kiddos and they're all in school ages right now. And I have 2 very active boys that are very close together. And so they definitely give me a run for my money all the time. And this homeschooling thing has definitely kicked my booty. I don't know about you other moms, but I'm like, can I have a homeschool break today? Like, can we just skip school? Just watch TV or something. Like, my brain is fried. But anyways, we've been in ministry for over 16 years. I've been married to my hubby for a long time, and people always say, oh, you look too young, like, to be in ministry that long. But I started, when I was 19 years old. So I've got a lot of years under my belt, but one thing that I've learned in ministry and as a wife of a pastor is that our schedule is always very full and very busy. And with the job that he has right now, he travels all over the world. And so, I'm home all the time with the kids, and it's really important that I'm that anchor for them. And so for me to get a 9-to-5 job, it hasn't really been an option for my family because I need to be here. I think that's really important. So there's a lot of stay-at-home moms that could be listening to this right now, and there's value in it. And I know that what I love about network marketing is that there is this online community, and that you can feel like you've got community even though you're in your home 24/7, especially during quarantine. But anyways, I'm really grateful for the community. I'm grateful for the provision that it can bring to our families while we're at home. And I've been doing it for over 7 years now, network marketing. And so it's really been a blessing to our family, and it can really transform your life. So I'm extremely grateful for it. But since this is about Show Me the Money, I want to talk to you guys about the importance of asking, the ask. And same with Tamera, it's about them. And so when you start to think of people that you want to reach out to and you want to talk to, go beyond just thinking about the name, but think about the person, who they are, what do they love to do. Think about them first before you start thinking about you. And so as you conversate with them, whether it be through social media or on the phone, when you're talking, always keep it about them. Think about them, think about their dreams, and you will be successful in the ask, I feel like. And it's going to be a lot of conversation. It may not be the first time, like Ashley said. A lot of times the fortune is in the follow-up, and we're going to talk more about follow-up here in a minute. But I'm just excited to be talking on this subject, because I think that when we really switch the conversation and really start thinking about the other person, you're going to see so much success and growth in your business.
Yeah, I totally agree 1,000%. When you make it about the right person, it doesn't ever feel weird, or you have a good heart posture, like Amy said yesterday, when you started thinking about that other person. So let's flow right into follow-up, because Rachel, I know you have a ton of wisdom in this area. So how do you start doing follow-up? Let's talk through a little bit of that. I know you were talking about asking good questions and kind of using a gauge when following up with them.
Yeah. So what I like to do, so I always keep in mind that somebody needs to see something 7 times before they actually jump into something. Usually, that's why we see so much advertising. And so it is good to be able to share on social media, but beyond that, it's good to be able to send the message and talk to the person and engage with the person, and not just making it about the sale. That person should never feel like you're trying to sell on them. They should feel that you are making them important, and that who they are matters, and it should matter to us. We should never be thinking just about, oh, I want to close this deal, or, oh, I just want to make this sell. It's not really about that. And I feel like if we can change our heart posture towards the person and really engage with their life, engage with what they're doing, and show that we care, then people will come around to see what you're doing. Or when they do have an ache or a pain, they're going to say, I'm going to reach out to that person. Like they're always reaching out to me. They care about me, and I'm really having a hard time sleeping. I saw her post about that, and so I'm going to message her. But they need to hear that 7 times. And so even when I start to get to a place where I feel like somebody could be really interested in the business, I will get them on the phone, because if they can just hear my voice, then I know that they'll hear the excitement in my voice and they'll want to do this. And so I think that it is really important, even if you're afraid to talk on the phone. I know, like, the younger generation, they would much rather text or message. Get them on the phone, because if they can hear you, even if it's a voice message, they are going to naturally get excited when they hear your excitement. And so talking to them like that, but then also just gauging, like, sometimes there's times where you may not understand, like, I don't know exactly where this person is. Do they want to join, or do they not want to join? And I think it's important then, once you've established rhythm of communication, then at a point where you're needing to understand where they are on the timeline of joining you, or getting started, that's when I like to just throw in a scale and just say, okay, from a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being like, oh, it's just not for me, or 10 being like, I want to sign up right now. Where are you on the scale? Help me just kind of gauge so that I know where you're at and where your heart's at. And so they'll always respond to that, and they'll just say, oh, well, I'm a 9, I'm just scared. Or, I'm like a 10, I want to sign up right now, but I just don't have the income. And that way, then you can start giving strategies to them on how to get there, how to get that to that 10, to where then you can get them signed up and they can start changing their life today. So those are some of those, things that are in a rhythm of my life that I wanted to be able to pass along to you, that I hope can help you guys as you're building your businesses, from customers to reps.
I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely.
You're
Like,
welcome.
that gauging question is so huge, right? Because that's when you get the objection out of them, if they have one. And most people do. Like I said in the beginning, only one person didn't give me an objection. And that's my favorite part of the conversation, because it gets real and raw and vulnerable. And that's when you really start connecting with those people, when you can help them walk through that. So thank you so much for that, Rachel.
Yes, you're welcome.
I wanted to give you guys a couple of tips too that I do. So one thing for me that I do every single day, like we kind of talked about at the beginning, you guys, follow-up yields the show me the money, right? So I do it every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I miss this super critical income producing activity. So sometimes I do it in a power hour. Sometimes I have 15 minutes and I'll just, search my messenger for a key word. Did you guys know you can do that? If you go on Facebook and click on Messenger, you can type in a word, maybe either one of the products that you've used, or, business or make money, and it'll pull up conversations that have that keyword in it. So you can quickly kind of follow up with those people. But some of my favorite things to say, because I think that that's where people get stuck. They're like, okay, I know I need to do follow up, but like, what do I say to somebody when I'm following up with them? First of all, I love what Rachel said about using the gauge. One of my favorite things to say, instead of using the scale of 1 to 10, because I say that a lot too, is, are you ready to get started, or do you have any more questions? Because it's in an or thing, right? Just like the gauge, they have to pick one of them. If you're following up with maybe some customers, hey, I'm throwing in some orders for the week. Did you want me to put that in for you as well? Okay. Hey, we were talking the other day and I know you said you really wanted to do this business. What other questions do you have? Are you ready to get started? Okay. I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. I wanted to make sure that I circled back around, because our conversation just hit really home with me when you said you really needed this extra money to be able to stay home with your baby. What's some other information that you need in order to make that decision? Something like that. And here's the other thing, you guys, I hear a lot is people say, well, I followed up with somebody and they just must not be interested anymore because they haven't responded to me. They've ghosted me. Like, seriously, raise your hand, you guys, in the chat if you've had somebody ghost you, because it happens to the best of us. It happens all the time and probably every single day. One thing that I always find faith in is they were interested at one point. So there's something going on in their life, which is why it's so important to follow up with them so that you kind of know where they're at. But a lot of times, you guys, I mean, I'm guilty of this constantly, of just forgetting to respond. I might see that I have a text or see my Facebook Messenger and I read it, but I'm driving. So I, can't actually respond to it, but it shows the red, so the person on the other end is like, Ashley saw my message. Why isn't she responding to me? Well, they don't know that I'm driving, right? Then when I get home, the notification's gone and I just completely forget because we're busy people. So give people grace. Don't make it about you, right? Don't make it about yourself. Think about them, give them the benefit of the doubt. But some people really are sometimes rude, right? Some people are actually ignoring you. And so this is where a wow factor follow-up is always great. I always make sure I ask a question. But a wow factor follow-up would be for that person that maybe you've sent a couple messages to and they're just not responding. So you need to say something to just get them to respond. My favorite one is, hey, I really hope I didn't say something to offend you. They immediately respond, no, you didn't offend me, right? Because now if they don't respond, they're super rude and they know it, right? And so another one is, if it's a friend of mine, if it's somebody I know really well, I'll like send a funny GIF, like what the heck or whatever, and then I'll type LOL, are you ignoring me? Like I just call it out there and say it, because then they again are like, no, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, right? So sometimes I'll also say things like, hey, just checking in to see if you got my last message. I know they got my last message. It says read, right? That's the great beauty of Instagram and Facebook. Another thing, if I'm feeling like, you know what, I'm wondering if they don't want to do this anymore, I will simply say something like, hey, you know, you can tell me no. If you're really feeling like this isn't a fit for you, like I'm not going to be mad. You can totally just tell me no. You guys, that's my favorite one to get the objection out, because they will usually immediately say, yeah, well, I was talking to my dad the other day and he just really thinks it's a bad idea, right? And so then I'm able to, again, have that really good conversation with them. So let's go into actually making the ask and talking about that part of it, because that's a part where it does take a little bit of confidence to be able to ask for this. Are you somebody that maybe you've gotten somebody in front of the business and you're sitting there going, well, why haven't they enrolled yet? Have you asked them to do that? Okay. I couldn't think of a better person to talk about this than Tamera Toof, because she is just so awesome at making the ask and sealing the deal. So Tamera, could you kind of talk us through actually even what happened just the other night and how you made the ask and sealed the deal, and how maybe even if he wouldn't have, you would have asked for a referral at the end of that?
Yeah, sure. Yep. So this is the part 2, right? It's the follow-up, and where I want to talk about kind of the mindset why some people don't follow up, because I want you to understand, our human nature is we're scared of the no, right? We're scared they're going to say no. We may be scared they're going to say yes, because we don't even know what to do next, right? So what you have to understand why the follow-up's important is because it's about them, and you told them you would follow up. So when I'm meeting with somebody to take a look, I make sure I schedule the follow-up, because I'm an accountable person. And so I'm going to be accountable to the time. So that's something that helps me to do the follow-up, is I always set the time and the date. And that helps me to do that. So if any tip you can learn to help you make that call, because it's easier to not make it if you didn't schedule it. Okay. So please schedule it. That's a huge tip. And the other thing, I'm going to put some fun in this and laughter. Sometimes we have to do these things. I got this one time from a friend of mine that we've been in business together. This is what she to help me to make those follow-up calls. You see that? It's put your big girl panties on. Okay? This is what is hanging in my office that I show. So those are things that we have to do too. Like, I love laughter and fun. So I get nervous to make a follow-up. So I got to get my big girl panties on, right? And so my friend just made that for me. I love it. Like, I should probably frame that. So maybe make one of these or get your friends. That could be an activity, a craft activity while we're all home with this coronavirus stuff. So I had to put some fun in there because Ashley says I'm kind of crazy fun. And those are things I do. You gotta set your mindset. So here's gonna be an example that just happened on Wednesday, okay? So maybe you don't know, but corporate every Wednesday, some leader, either Aspen, Matthew, or Eileen, does a Discover Emrys for us on Facebook Live. So where I use that tool is I invite friends to that because we can't physically get together. And so I invited a couple people to that, and one was able to show up, right? Not everybody we ask always is able to do it, right? Something comes up. So I got the person on, they watch it, but what I had scheduled, you guys, is the follow-up. And when I asked them to watch it, the follow-up was scheduled for like 5 minutes after the video ended, after Aspen presented. So guess what? I knew I had a call in 5 minutes after. I couldn't go do something else, other things. My family knew I was going to be on the phone, and I had my time longer, right? Not just for the time Aspen was presenting. And so that helped me to follow up within 5 minutes, get my courage, and just we had a little talk. And then my question always is, what is it that intrigued you the most about what you heard today? And then we talked. So then what happened from that is, again, I used a tool. It wasn't me talking. I used a tool that corporate has given us. It made it easier to follow up. And guess what he said? I'd like to this weekend, like we could schedule a Zoom or something, get my brother on, okay? And get my fiance on so that we all can be together. So then that's gonna be a second follow-up. And now we're scheduling what time that's gonna be, okay? And that's my next thing to do today. Hey, 10 o'clock work on Saturday or 2? So I'm going to give them options that I know work pretty well in my schedule that I can allow time for them. And then now I'm going to have a Zoom with 3 people, right? And help them even maybe get their first person right away on the same day they sign up. And that's how you leverage time and help you during these times, is using tools from corporate, which are amazing tools, but you only can control the follow-up, right? That's something we can control. And so I always say, do what you know you can control. Other things you can't worry about if it's out of your control. But I do know my follow-ups in my control. And so I make sure I do it, I schedule it. So that's where I'm at with that. Then the other person that couldn't make it, she let me know that she just wasn't able to. And so guess what? I took it from share and I shared it in Messenger to her, the video, again, using the tool, and then schedule follow-up for tomorrow. Okay, so still working it, using it. It just didn't work at that time. No big deal. Don't make them feel bad. Just here it is. Make it easy for them so they don't have to go to it. I just message it through Messenger. Okay, so use tools to help you and to help them leverage their time. And you're showing them how the business can be simple, not easy, but simple, right? And let's say they say no to me on Saturday when I do my follow-up. Here's what I want you to remember. This is the one thing I say most people forget to do, because we may be disappointed they said no to the business. They may still buy product or they may not do anything, right? And there could be some disappointment. But what you have to remember, this is still your business. They still like you. They're friends of yours. They still like you. They just said no to that today, right? What you're going to ask them is, hey, I know you just want to start on product today. No big deal. That is awesome. I'm so glad that's where you're starting for you. But I really am I'm building this business. I'm going to the top and I want to take others with me. Who comes to mind of a couple of people that I can give a call to today and say that you've referred me? And why, and what else I'd like to know is why you thought of them so I can tell them. You guys, from the referrals, I will tell you, in my past business that I had been in network marketing, my top business builders in my business came from my friends that referred me to them. I never knew them before. So that's my biggest tip, is that's how I've grown in business, is getting referrals from people I know who care for me and love me and they want to help me. They just don't want to do today. Now they came along later or they've been a great customer, but they led me to top stars, right? They led me to entrepreneurs, because I asked for certain people who are people that are go-getters, could use this. They love serving others. I asked for those type of people. That's going to come to mind, because if you say, who do you know, it's going to be harder for them to come up. So tell them who you're looking for. Ask them why you thought of them. They thought of that person. Then call them. And if you want to go a step further, sometimes I tell people, do you mind calling them and let them know I'm calling so I'm not a stranger to them? And then I'll call tomorrow. So again, set up the stage to call them the next day because you told them. Let's say they didn't call them, okay? Because it happens. Hey, Ashley, I was referred to you by Rachel. I don't know if she had a chance to give you a call, but she spoke so highly of you and said that we should connect because of blah, blah, blah. That's how you overcome it if they didn't call. Don't make it weird or no big deal. Gosh dang it, Rachel, why didn't you tell her? Don't do any of those things. You're just going to go with the flow and tell them, oh, I know Rachel's busy, that mom. She's always so busy on the go. I'm sure I wasn't top of mind yesterday for her to call you, but this is what she told me why I should call you. It's a connecting. So figure out how you can connect with people the fastest way, because we only have 30 seconds to call new people to connect right away, right? In my opinion, we have that much time. So I always lead with positive to help into the conversation. And again, referrals can be your best way to find business builders and to continue to add to people you know and to talk to. If you're running low on names and stuff, ask for referrals. That's my biggest tip I can tell you. And again, put your big girl panties on, right? I gotta do these. I love them.
So cute. I love the like pink bows and everything. They're adorable. They're so cute. I love that. And you know, a lot of times too, some people are uncomfortable with picking up the phone. Don't let that hold you back, you guys. Have maybe that person, like if I'm asking Tamera to do this business with me and she says no and I ask for a referral and she says, hey, I have this super busy mom. She's been in ministry. Her name's Rachel. I think she'd kill it in this. She's always looking for something to do. She's super driven. And I maybe don't feel comfortable picking up the phone and calling this stranger. I would maybe ask Tamera, hey, could you start a 3-way chat and just introduce me to Rachel? And then that's maybe more my comfort zone. Don't ever let your excuse be the reason why you guys don't take action on certain things, okay? And if you're maybe sitting on here and you work your business more online, a really awesome way that you can still do this is asking for people to put posts up for you. At Emrys, we call them pop-up posts, where maybe I asked Tamera, hey, I'm going for a really big promotion this month. If I give you a post, would you mind putting it up for me and tagging me in it? I'm really working on expanding my network right now. You don't have to do a giveaway. You could if you want. You could say to her, and all the people that are doing it for me, I'm going to put you in a raffle to win a $5 Starbucks gift card or something like that. But Tamera knows me and likes me, right? So she probably will just do it for nothing. So in closing, you guys, I just want to talk about one thing, because I think sometimes people will come and say, all right, you're telling me I need to make my list and I need to, share the story and I need to get it in front of people and I need to follow up with people and make the ask. But Ashley, I'm having a really hard time with even who to talk to. I feel like I've talked to everybody and I might need to expand my network a little bit. So I'm going to give you guys just a couple of bonus tips on how to expand your network before we get off today. So you should be adding to your network every single day. That should be an income producing activity that you don't go without. For me, what I do, super quick, you guys can do this in 5-10 minutes. I'll grab my phone, I hop over to Facebook, and I scroll until I see the first sponsored ad. Usually happens no more than 3 swipes. Facebook's awesome that way, right? Annoying, but it's okay. So I swipe 3 times and I find a sponsored ad. A lot of times it's for a boutique or stuff that I'm already looking for. And I click on and go to the comments of that sponsored ad, because those are people that are actually active on Facebook. I'll click on one of them, go to their profile, make sure they're a normal human, right? And I might send them a quick Facebook friend request. I don't do this I do probably 3 to 5 people a day, okay? Facebook's a different market, right? We don't usually add people that are strangers. We don't usually add random people. And so just expect that maybe 1 to 3 of those people are actually going to add you back, but that's okay. The other way that you guys can do this is find a group. Find a group that's on Facebook that has something to do with you, right? I am a mom of a blended family, so I have stepkids. I'm in a couple of blended family groups on Facebook. I'm in a couple of Christian wives groups on Facebook. Get in there, start building relationships with those people. Be the authority in that page, comment and like. So when people see your name, they're like, who's this girl? And they go to your Facebook page and they're adding you, right? That's a way for you to get people to add you. I also do it on Instagram. I follow people with a common interest. I follow people that have kids that are my age, people that like girly stuff, because that's who I am, and I will add those people on there. Here's another thing. Somebody told this to me when I first started in network marketing, and I said, I'm out of people to talk to. I've talked to my 4 best friends. And she's like, oh, you're 4 people. You talked to 4 people. I'm like, yep. Okay. If your back was against the wall and you needed this business, if your why was big enough, wouldn't you figure it out? And I was like, oh man, that was kind of a gut check moment, right? I was like, you're right. I need this business. I need this income. I need to find a way to figure it out. Okay, this was before Facebook. It was before Instagram. So it was back in the day. And she said, so right now, if you're telling me you need to make $500 this month, what are you going to do about it, Ashley? And I was like, okay, well, it's time to get creative. It's time to put on my big girl panties, like Tamera said, and figure out what I was going to do to expand my network. Maybe it's Corona season right now, so we can't go do this right now. So I'm telling you tips to use later. All right. So for me in that moment, I was like, man, maybe I could go talk to a couple of salon owners and see if I could do a customer appreciation day for them and bring in my skincare or bring in my CBD and, let people taste it, feel it, touch it, see it, and do that with a couple of people. Maybe I could go to a couple of gyms. So just get creative, you guys. That's my challenge for you today, is to figure out if your back's against the wall and you need this business, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to just ho-hum and let other people give you excuses and make excuses for yourself? Or are you going to take your own business in your hands and figure out how to do it? Okay. So question for the day and your call to action. Question for the day is, where do you feel like you need the most help? Do you feel like maybe you need a little bit more confidence in making the ask, or do you feel like maybe you're lacking in follow-up? Okay, I challenge you to figure out what that is, reach out to a mentor and get help so you're not making an excuse to stay stuck. Okay, your call to action for today is to follow up. So pick a consistent factor. Maybe it is going to be for 15 minutes, or maybe it's going to be 15 messages. Whatever it looks like for you, I like to do a time frame. I like to say, okay, I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes and I'm going to follow up until that goes off. Maybe for you, you're going to say, I'm going to send 5 follow-up messages. Whatever that is for you, pick a number, pick a consistent factor, and do your follow-up today. It's follow-up Friday. For the most of the world, it's payday Friday, right? People usually spend more money on Friday, on the weekends, than any other time of the week. So you have a chance to follow up with them, make the ask, and get them in the system. Okay, guys, so have a super awesome weekend. We will see you guys back here on Monday for some incredible content. It will be session 6. I hope you guys all have an awesome day. Make sure you do your call to action. Come back here, comment down so you're getting that extra entry. Thank you so much, Tamera and Rachel. You guys did incredible. Give them some love in the chat. Their wisdom is far beyond all of us. Thank you so, so much. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.